Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Mashaba coming back at you with another lesson. First, before I get into the lesson, I want to give all the honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, and Kakudash. Second thing I want to do is give double honor to all the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and citations to all who raise out of pushing the truth with both sincerity and with charity. Alright, so what I'm going to get into is the topic of fasting and prayer. Okay? Why it's so important. Alright, because one, fasting and prayer, it builds your relationship with the Lord. Because first, prayer is talking to Yahweh Shemashah, asking of Him. Alright? As like, when you wake up, Yahweh Shemashah, Baruch Shah, make this day peaceful, and go by swiftly. Or, bless me, my family and the brothers, things like that. All right, and fasting shows your faith. All right, it shows, you able to sacrifice your own pleasures of eating, to just like it to appease Yahweh Shema Shai, man. All right, that's why it's important. Okay. All right. So, yeah, man. So, let me start with Matthew chapter 17 and verse 20. Matthew 17 and 20. And Yahweh said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. All right, so, yeah, man. This kind goes not out by prayer and fasting. All right? Because it said faith as a mustard seed. Basically, a mustard seed is a seed that starts out very small. All right? But when it's watered, it grows into a tree that, even birds start to nest under. All right? It shows, it's as, the scriptures compared it to our faith. All right? When you first come in this truth, your faith, might be small, this and that. You may not know that much. All right, you may, doubt yourself in some areas. All right, left-handed spirits got a greater chance of getting into your mind and affecting you, right? But, once we do that prayer and that fasting and just general just work with Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, all right, we we grow just like that mustard seed. All right, you're gonna go from doubting yourself to knowing that you are a man of the Lord. To calling yourself one of the hopeful elect, man. All right, to really wanting to do this work day in and day out. All right, so yeah. All right, but yeah, man. All right, prayer and fasting. All right, talking to the Lord. Sacrificing your pleasures for the Lord. All right. Okay, but let me go to Hebrews. All right. This is Hebrews 11 and verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that things which are seen are not made of things which do appear. So yeah, faith is the evidence of things, as the first precept said. Things hoped for, the things of not seen. And what is that thing, not seen as of right now? That's the kingdom. Right? That's salvation. But with faith, all right, you show your faith by your works, all right? All right, by that faith, all right, we show that, that we need the Lord, man. Which, we need the Lord. That's a no question. But we show that, we want the Lord to protect us and save us in that day. All right. And if we, you know, keep doing this, then Yahweh Shai gonna stick to his word and, save us. All right. But, let me, read a couple more precepts. This is verse 6 of Hebrews 11. All right. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So, yeah, man. A rewarder of them that diligently seek Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. So, all right. If he is a rewarder, how do you diligently seek him? As I said, prayer, fasting, going out to these highways and byways, studying. All right. Watering. You gotta, water yourself sometimes. All right. Yeah. The men of the Lord before us, they're in place to, teach us. But, once you get that, understand, you gotta, water yourself too. All right. You gotta be in the scriptures. You gotta read. You gotta, go to what this word means. Go to what that word means. Especially, study the Hebrew. How you gonna call yourself a Hebrew Israelite and not know Hebrew for real? All right. So, yeah, man. Okay. Salagi. What do I want to read next? This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So yeah, or did any, abide, did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Which means you abide in his fear. What does that mean? Following these statutes and commandments to the best of your ability. All right, repenting. If you go off, realizing where you went off at, because in our journey, we all going to go off at some point. But the point is, realizing that you went off and repenting. All right. Scripture say, just man falleth 7 times, but get it back up again. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. All right. Just like a boxer, man. Yeah, a boxer may, or just anything relating to a sports as a, I'm just using it as an analogy. All right. You lose, this one time. All right, and then you lose a couple times, then you just get mad, and instead of putting that anger, and turning it into ambition to get better, you quit. All right, that's what these 2/3 do, because they don't have no discipline, no structure, and no faith. All right, so yeah, man, that's why they into mischief. All right, to be in the truth, you got to realize that this is going to be a hard, and enduring fight, man. Okay? This fight is going to be a battle, a war. But through that war, that's that spiritual war. All right, hold on. Let me get this is let me go to Ephesians. Slovakia. Slovakia. This is Khan. Alright, Slovakia for the little wait, but I got it. This is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Alright. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Alright. I'm gonna pause right there, be strong in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Have faith in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Alright. And put on the whole armor. Alright, and how do you put on that whole armor, man? Alright, prayer and fasting, studying, doing this work. Alright, that's putting on the armor of Yahweh. Alright, so that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. That's them tricks. That's what them left-handed spirits, gonna be trying to put in your mind to test you. Remember at the start of the video when I said, at the start of the lesson, and I was talking about, when you first come to the truth, you are more susceptible to left-handed spirits. All right, coming in your mind and trying to, make you doubt. That's why we got to put on the whole armor of Yahweh to build up a resistance to that. And as I said, prayer, fasting, studying, and doing this work. All right. So, yeah, man. That's how you build that barrier, that foundation. All right, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand within the evil day, and having done all to stand. Let me read a bit more. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. All right. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. All right. So yeah, man, take these scriptures into account, man. All right. This is a last piece to end off this lesson. Isaiah 40 and 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. So yeah, man, those that wait upon the Lord, those that showed, all right, the works of the Lord, not the ones that's waiting upon the Lord and they ain't putting a lick of work. All right, they ain't really repent. All right, no, not those that showed their faith to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, those that put in the work, those that went out here, in a battle, man. All right, that's who he's looking for. That's gonna be the 1/3, man. All right, but I hope this lesson was edifying. So with that, I'm gonna give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakodash. Second thing I want to do is give double honors to all the elders and apostles of Grand Millstone, and salutations to all the brothers that are pushing the truth with both sincerity and with charity. Shalom, welcome Yasharallah, wa ababa ball. Shalom, Markim.